Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Terrebonne Parish School Board Special School Board meeting, January 11, 22, is now called to order. But before we have the invocation of Pledge of Allegiance, we have a moment of silence. And Dr. Trahan.
Please have a moment of silence for the following individuals who have recently passed away. Carrie Mack, retired school bus operator. Hannah Lewis, retired custodian. Betty Douglas, retired school food service technician. Thank you. Would everybody rise for the invocation and pledge? Lord, support us in this meeting. We ask your divine help in the difficult task that is before us. The issue we address tonight is a big responsibility for all of us. The solution we find may not be easy. Help us as we serve this school system as elected officials, and be with us tonight and always. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Trahan. Item number 4, roll call, please.
Mr. Michael Lagarde.
Here.
Mr. Gregory Harding.
Here.
Mr. Matthew Ford.
Here.
Mrs. Debbie Benoit.
Here.
Mrs. Stacy Soleil. Here. Mr. Clyde Hamner.
Here.
Mr. Roger Dale DeHart.
Here.
Dr. Maybelle Trahan.
Here.
And Mr. Dane Voisin. Here. Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Public forum. Receive comments from public as related to the superintendent search. And if anybody haven't signed in yet with the speaker card back there with Dr. Yarbrough, that would be the only way you will speak tonight. So make sure that you fill out that speaker card back there. And you're welcome to come up and speak. And you get 3 minutes. And about a minute and 2 or maybe a half a minute left, I'll notify you that your time is about ready to run out. Okay? Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read out the qualifications of a superintendent, what it takes to apply to be a superintendent, qualification for position of superintendent according with the Louisiana Standard for State Certified School Personnel Bulletin 746, 709 Education Leader Certification Level 3, EDL 3, A. The certificate is required in order to serve as a school system superintendent or assistant superintendent. 1. Eligibility requirements. A. Valid EDL 2 or 1 of the Louisiana Administrative Supervisor certification that precede education leadership certificate structure. B. 5 years of teaching experience in his or her area of certification. C. 5 years of successful administration of management experience in education at the level of assistant principal or above. The assistant principal experience will be limited to a maximum 2 years of experience in that position. And D. Passing scores on the school superintendent assessment, SSA, in keeping with the state requirement. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the requirements for any individual that would like to become superintendent. Again, I would like to thank each and every one of you coming out here and braving the cold weather to come out here and help us to make this very, very important decision. So at this particular time, Doc, you have the cards? Who has them? Okay. Okay.
The first person that we have, the first citizen, is Ms. Vicky Cloche, residing at 2903 Quiet Oak Place, Shreveport, Louisiana, 70395.
Good evening, Ms. Cloche.
Thank you. Thank you to all you guys for having this meeting in the first place and allowing us to come and speak. I really appreciate it. I want you to know I'm not yelling at anybody, but I never can hear back there, so I just want to be sure that everybody can hear me. So the items that I'm going to read off are, they are bullet items that are a compilation of comments from teachers, parents, principals, citizens, grandparents, taxpayers, healthcare workers, physicians, retired educators. And we just put it all together in as concise a form as possible. I do have a copy for each of you guys that I think everyone has for you. So it says, "We the people," citizens, "believe the Terrebonne Parish School Superintendent should be a person who has come to the realization that he or she has nothing to lose, no reputation, no favors. Should be willing to ask 3 questions when making decisions as a benchmark by which to measure and test his or her actions. Is it biblical? Is it constitutional? Does it make common sense? Be fiscally responsible, upgrading buildings and all facilities for the best learning environment. Be kind and compassionate and listen to your constituents. Make decisions based on input from people who will be living with those decisions. Be a constitutionalist. Be a believer in Jesus Christ. Be pro-life. Understand and support parents' and students' rights secured in the United States and Louisiana constitutions, and not rely on a hired attorney to advise them in that regard. Support teaching our Constitution from first grade through graduation. Should understand and exercise the power of the local school board over tyrannical overreach by state and federal government, and stand with us, we the people, against unconstitutional mandates, state and federal. Operate with educators and parents as a team. Reject masking our children and social distancing. Reject vaccine clinics on school campuses. And reject contact tracing in any form. You know, fear has taken hold of our country, unfortunately, and our schools. And a parent told me today that her 7th grader is afraid to cough in class because she doesn't want to be masked, sent home, or told to distance herself. We believe that this superintendent should reject critical race theory in any shape, way, or form, and enlist parents and educators to review books in Terrebonne Parish. As many of you may know, on the website, it says Terrebonne Parish School District has embraced a progressive 21st century mindset. And in this climate, when you put progressive and mindset together, it can be
Excuse
a
me.
situation.
Your 3 minutes are up, but I think, how many speakers we have?
Thus far, I only have 4.
Okay, and what we'll do then, since we only have that short amount, I'll just go on and
Motion
make
to extend the time, 3
us
minutes.
extend it.
Second.
You know, I didn't want to have 100 people here talking, so we're going to give you an extra 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay.
He or she should accept, encourage things that unify us as a community and oppose things that divide us as a community. He should communicate with parents and citizens often. We want to know, how can we help? And we also want to know, how are you willing to help? We want to work together. They should make Terrebonne Parish Schools a safe place for education, for educators and parents to speak up for righteous issues without fear of losing their job or a parent's child being singled out, and recognize that our children have the right to be taught in a safe environment by highly qualified teachers. We must keep the classroom and environment safe for the innocent, and gender issues, bullying, disrespecting authority, and guns on campus have no place in our schools. Our students and our schools must be protected, and we appreciate you listening. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
The next citizen from the public is Mr. Pedro Cortez, 1712 Polk Street, Houma, Louisiana, 70360.
Good afternoon, Mr. Quasez. Yes, if you need an extra 3 minutes, we will extend your time, okay?
I'll probably do.
Okay, all right then.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I hope everyone's doing okay. So, I'm a dentist here in town and first generation American in the U.S. Both my parents are from Colombia, South America. So, no prouder Americans than my parents. I'll promise you that. Anyway, briefly touching up on what she said or adding to that was secondary thing she said. But the importance of understanding for a superintendent of the Constitution, what's going on, our parental rights, students' rights, people's rights. It's very easy, we can all say, yeah, we all understand and respect the Constitution and whatnot, but if we look around, you don't have to look too far, you know, in Louisiana, nationwide, people are trampling all over the Constitution like crazy, right? It's easy to raise your hand and uphold it, It's so many people, and it's sad. It's created, unfortunately, a cynicism, I believe, in a lot of people. And, you know, we can have boards, be it a school board or whatever it may be. But I find in talking to a lot of people, and it's so sad to see it, you know, from when my parents came here and the way I grew up, to see so many people feel, well, a sense of cynicism. And so it would be fantastic with the superintendent to, you know, do all the things that Ms. Vicki mentioned, you know, and meet these criteria. But one additional thing I would add to that is whatever actions to be taken to help bring the community together in terms of feeling, hey, we can speak, we can talk, we can relate, right? I got to be honest. First time I ever came to one of these meetings a while back, I forgot the date. I was kind of like I feel like I'm in a courtroom or something, jury. So, but people shouldn't feel that way, right? And you guys all seem very nice, right? All you all seem very, very nice. So, but maybe if you can address that aspect, because so many parents feel like, and I have to agree, but many parents feel they don't have a voice. Yes, they can come to a meeting, they can come to committee meetings and things like that, but they don't have a true voice. They may come in, say some things, and that's it, right? And it's not picking on any one person here in particular, but if that can somehow be addressed to where there could be more, like with the whole thing with topic on mask or whatever it is that's going on, not just here, but throughout the country. So many parents just feel they have no sense of voice with their kids. None, right? And I'm a healthcare provider, right? I'm a biologist by nature, chemistry, genetics, dentistry, healthcare, you name it. I'm on top of things, and it's sad to see that frustration with parents. So I don't know if something could be done to address that aspect of it. Along those lines, I don't know, something that was talked about by some people is if there's even some sort of possibility of some type of, you know, you have your parent-teacher groups and all this kind of stuff. If there's some kind of way that you can have some kind of parent interview committee.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'll anybody want to entertain a motion to extend? Moved by Mr. George, second by Mr. Ford. Anyone would like to discuss that? Mr. DeHart, Mr. Ford, any board member? Hearing none, so ordered. You got 3 more minutes, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Not as brief as I said I would be. But there's a possibility, and I don't know if this has ever happened before, it can happen. I'm not a procedural kind of guy, it's the way things work, right? But the possibility of a parent interview committee or something to where we can have a little more involvement. This is very nice tonight, for instance, this is very good. But maybe some kind of more involvement with parents. Don't know how that would come about. I'll let you guys figure that out maybe. But to have parents involved, as I said, maybe sort of a committee where they can interview for this most important position, right? How could that happen? So just a food for thought there. What else? And then just a second, also what Ms. Vicki has there, I thought was really important, is the, the superintendent in terms of the great responsibility that they understand clearly the responsibility of their job in the school board, what she had mentioned about any kind of tyrannical overreach, right? State government, national government, all this kind of stuff. I know there's a lot of people out there that are really frustrated with a lot of things, right? We're all concerned about certain things, but there's a lot of frustration. And ultimately, back to the Constitution, it's very dangerous sometimes when we get into this situation where we say, well, we have to unfortunately disregard, people have said it, politicians have said it, we have to disregard some of your individual rights, to boo them a little bit, not that important for the greater good. And if all you guys, I'm sure you all know your history and whatnot, in many nations that I know very well from my parents' history, that doesn't end well. And it happens faster than we think. When we give up our individual freedoms and rights and the Constitution is trampled like I won't even say, like trampled like something, and it slides down very quickly. It's a very dangerous situation. You can look around and see where we are today from where we were just 2 years ago. It's kind of scary. And I say that with the perspective of my parents from Colombia, Venezuela right now, neighboring country. I look at some of the history of some of these places and I hear stories from my parents. It's really, really, really scary. And what seems like an innocent little thing may not be. So just, I don't know. I guess I'll be quiet now. Thank you very much for your time, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
The third citizen from the public is Ms. Jacqueline B. Spencer, 804 Barrow Street, Homa, 70360.
Good afternoon, Board.
Good afternoon, Ms. Spencer. How you doing
How you
today?
guys doing today? What I would like to see in a superintendent is non-bias. And what I mean by that is I have my own business in education advocacy on 804 Barrow Street. I'm a mental health professional, administrator with Bio Oaks Health Services. I'm mostly in the field 24/7, 7 days a week. That's what I do currently in my profession, working towards PhD in business administration. I have 4 children with disability. I have 3 with disabilities, let me say that. I have 4 children. I have 1 scholar, but I have 3 with autism. All 4 of them have asthma. All 4 of them are homebound because of their safety. To keep a child safe is a main responsibility of a superintendent. This goes way beyond politics and aristocracy and all this other stuff. When you're in the seat of a superintendent, the superintendent is supposed to take the care of the children. The superintendent is supposed to collaborate effectively among the community to hear the parental cries of what's going on in the school system and in the community. Now, to backlash with what this young man said here about parental involvement, true. As a previous Terrebonne Parish educator, I am known that due Terrebonne Parish, the 60 schools that they do carry, there are parent representatives that represent each school. Legion, Lisa Park. I was for one of them for Lisa Park Elementary 5 years ago. So there is some parental involvement, to clear that up. Now, to exercise the right a little bit more, to shape it up a little bit, yeah, we could get a little bit more parental involvement. We could get a little bit more strategic. But we don't need parents, and I'm going to say this on behalf of me, because I can only speak for me. I don't want to run your job. That's not my responsibility. It's not my responsibility to tell the superintendent what I want. I can suggest what I want. I can suggest my concerns. But at the end of the day, it is his responsibility to choose the best answer. What's best for our children? What's best for Terrebonne Parish? This is not about black and white. This is not about politics. This is not about the child that has the Gucci jeans and versus the uniform. I've been in the seat for over 20-something years. Never worked the same job twice in 20 years. One of my bosses right here, she's could vouch for me. In my beginning stages, you're looking at a woman that worked 20 different jobs in 20 different years. In 20 years, I cannot tell you I was a special ed teacher for 20 years. I can't lie and tell you that. But what I can tell you, I placed myself in various fields. Healthcare. I have a minor in nursing also. BS in nursing. 2 semesters away from the
Excuse me, Ms.
BS.
Spencer, your time has ran out.
Motion to extend.
Motion by Mr. DeHart.
Second.
Second by Ms. Benoit. Anyone else would like to discuss that? Mr. DeHart?
No, sir.
Ms.
Thank you.
Benoit, any board member? Of that injection? Here, no, sorry. 3 more minutes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I just want to express, again, as an advocate for children, for people, when I'm in a meeting with the school board and officials and psychologists, mental health professionals and caseworkers and managers, I'm an advocate. But as an advocate, I take into consideration the school responsibility, the teacher, and the parent. I hold both sides of the spectrum. I don't see color. I don't see race. I don't see religion. I see whatever that child need is. And looking at the data and putting my reports, what is the best solution for that child? What is that child lacking? So we can get it to them for that help, whatever it may be. So that next superintendent, I'm expecting with God's help because I am a firm believer in God and I am a woman of God. The next one that sits in that chair will have a love for our children, not to single no child out, no child left behind. Not to not consider that you have some children with asthma, traumatic brain injury. You have some kids that really cannot go into school because of their medical condition. I want a superintendent that's going to keep my children safe. I want a superintendent that's going to talk to the parents and hear their concerns. I want a superintendent that don't mind staying late at night working on his agenda for the next morning. I want a superintendent that knows his job. But most importantly, I want a superintendent that got a love for the children and a love for Terrebonne Parish and a love and a passion that's going to work with every board member here on this staff to make difference. You are our future. It's your responsibility to make sure things get done. You cannot draw bees with bitter and bias and animosity. You can't do it. You can't win. There's only one true master in the world. And I'm going to leave you guys with this here. No matter what stage you are, what level you are, there's one master, and he up above. And if you don't seek that master up above for guidance, you're going to be a lost soul. You will be a lost soul. And there are going to be some people losing out, and there are going to be some people winning in the end. So my prayer is that all of y'all work together, all of y'all get it together, and put the right superintendent in this chair that you know in your heart of hearts that's going to meet and deliver every need of Terrebonne Parish for our children. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Spencer.
The next citizen from the public is Ms. Cherie Champagne, 5965 Alma Street, Houma, Louisiana, 70360.
Good afternoon, Ms. Champagne.
Hello. Happy New Year, everyone. I am here just to kind of give you guys some insight as to everything that Dr. Cortez said, Ms. Vicki, on point. I echo everything that they've said, and I want to add to that. Okay, so first of all, obviously, we need all of the agenda that we need for a superintendent. However, all of the education that's required, all of the other stuff that's required, all of the things that are required, we need one thing that this one person needs to bring to the table, and that is understanding that the Constitution is number one. And if we have a superintendent that puts that first, we have no more mandates, we have no more school closures, we have no more vaccine mandates, we have none of that, because that person will hold the constitutional rights of everyone in this parish higher than all of the money that's coming in from the COVID funds and all of this good stuff. Okay, we need a superintendent that will not and will promise, and if that requires it to be in writing, to put it in writing that we will not shut our schools down again. We will not send our children home again. We will not allow vaccinations in our schools ever. And we will stop the progressive 20th century curriculum in our schools. I have called to have meetings with Mr. Harding, Bubba, and Mr. Martin. I haven't heard from them. I'll meet with you guys as well, but I was waiting to hear from them. I've been trying, but I'll get there eventually. We'll meet. Trusting the board. Trusting the board is extremely important. So we have a board that we need to trust to say, you are going to pick the proper superintendent, but you guys also shut our schools down. You guys also mandated things that we did not approve of. And here we are now, we have to trust you to pick this superintendent. So we're going to entrust that to you this time, one more time again. And after this, if we come again with someone who is allowing these curriculum in our schools that is absolutely unaddressed, we're allowing the mandates to go on unconstitutionally. When the lawsuits begin, we don't need to be there. That needs to be number one. Whomever sits in that seat needs to understand we will not allow to go on what transpired in the last few years under this particular administration. Regardless of how you feel about Mr. Martin and his job and his term here, you need to understand what your job is forward, is to pick someone who is not going to do to these schools what has happened in the last several years. We cannot continue. Taxpayers are furious. And we are going to have to stop doing that, because I can tell you there's a wave coming that wants everyone on this board removed. And we appreciate honesty, and we appreciate you doing your job. Remove him from the scenario, and we need you to do that again. We need to put someone in that seat that will not do that. And you guys need to stand up to them. You cannot just go with the go just because it's good. You have to stand up to the person who says, we need a progressive curriculum. I would like to meet with all of you to see if you've ever decided on what that is and where it came from and who paid for it.
Your 3 minutes up. I'll entertain.
I'm good. I don't need three more minutes. I'm fine. I just wanted to say that. I hope you guys well, and I'll be back, and I'm going to try to meet with you, Mr. Harding, Mr. Martin as well, and you guys need to keep that in mind, please do, because from this point on, obviously, we're listening and we're paying attention, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Champagne.
The next citizen from the public is Miss Alicia L. Dove, 628 Hobson Street, Homa, 70360.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How you doing?
How you doing today? I'll be very short. I agree with Ms. Gautreaux, Ms. Cortez, Ms. Spencer on the safety very much. Ms. Champagne, a few of the things. I would just like to see with the new superintendent, I know y'all just passed a new discipline procedure, which I read it, I thought it was fantastic. I would like to see the new superintendent implement that discipline procedures in all schools. I think it's very important. I know as far as the food, I know that's not, but maybe they can do a little change of that, because the food, I ate lunch, the food is not good at all. And also with the situation, which I know it affects all y'all lives, is a critical race theory. Maybe that y'all could do a vote for the teachers and the public, that so it wouldn't affect y'all, they would vote on it to see, with that. And basically, our children are our future as far as we the people. So I just would like to see, a good superintendent that helps discipline, because without discipline, you know what happens. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have no further cards.
Okay, again, I would like to thank the public for coming out and giving their comments. And at this particular time, I've always given board members the opportunity just to say a couple words and closing remarks before we adjourn. You want to start it, Mr. Hamlin?
No, I just want to thank everybody that spoke and those that attended for coming. I took not copious notes, but some things that struck with me from each one of the speakers, and I'm hoping that we can find that superintendent that is a mixture of all these things for the school system.
Ms. Benoit?
Just briefly, again, I'd like to thank everyone that came out today, and I love the idea that parents and grandparents and we didn't see teachers here, but we heard maybe some voices from the teachers from some of those that spoke tonight. And we need all of that input. We want it, and I think it's important, and we hear you. And this is going to be a difficult decision, and I promise I'll give it all of my deepest considerations and thoughts and everything that you brought to us, as well as all of the requirements that we have put out there of what we're looking for in the next superintendent. So thank you.
Mr. Ford?
To be a superintendent of a school system, especially one as big as Terrebonne Parish, is definitely an honor and an achievement. The next superintendent, like this criteria from Bulletin 746 indicates, must be a lifelong educator. So as far as I'm concerned as a board member, that's the only people I'm going to be considering for this opportunity. A few of you said a few things that did stick with me, and I wanted to kind of follow up on those. Like Ms. Cloutier said, I believe a superintendent should be a believer. But I don't want to sound contradictory. I am a man of God myself, and I'm very strong in my Christianity. But I do know a lot about other religions. I've studied several religions just on a personal level. And I find good people in other religions as well. We are one nation under God. So I wholeheartedly believe in that, but that doesn't mean I'm going to exclude anyone if they're a Muslim, if they're a Buddhist. It would be hard for me to consider someone that's an atheist, but if they have the best interest of our students in mind, it'll be hard for me not to consider them as well. My beliefs are my beliefs. I'm strong in my beliefs. I'm not going to push those on anyone else. And you can always challenge me on that, but I'm not going to discount anyone or discredit anyone if they have different beliefs than I do. I do agree that we need more dialogue in this district, and I'm glad someone brought that up, and they didn't say it in that context, but we need a lot of dialogue here. We need a lot of not just social media, but we need, the opportunity for citizens, stakeholders to come and meet and speak freely. A lot of our colleges and universities have what they call free speech alley. That was always a big thing for me at Nicholls State University. I was big on public speaking and the right of the people to do so and to assemble and speak freely. And I would like a superintendent, that agrees with that and entertains it and actually welcomes it. I do believe the next superintendent should be unbiased and non-political. So that was a good point that I definitely want to keep in mind while we're going through the selection process. But I do want to clear one thing up. So there was one of the speakers that said they wanted to see some more parental involvement. But just to be clear, what he intended, I believe, was in the selection process. Yes, we do have parent committees at every school. That's great. But this selection process should have public input. I'm not going to go back and say I told you so, but I've been saying that from day one, and I've been doing so at the request of my constituency. So I do want to hear more public involvement. I'm glad you guys came and spoke tonight, but we need some more dialogue. We need some more discussion. It needs to happen somewhere. Even if it can't happen here, we have other avenues where it can happen. So please invite me and the other board members, whether it's a live event or it's online or Zoom or whatever, because you guys, some people are out there scared to death for this common cold that we have going around. So, and the last thing is, I agree with Ms. Champagne in that a superintendent should not take away or restrict or do away with our constitutional civil rights. Keeping students out of school, closing schools down, that goes against our Constitution. You always have the opportunity to stay home or keep your kids home if you don't feel they're safe. But we need students in the classroom learning. If a teacher doesn't feel safe, find another teacher. If you can't find another teacher, call me. I'll resign and I'll go teach that class for you. I'm passionate about the students and the kids in this district and this parish, and I hope the next superintendent is at least half of the compassion that I do. So that's all I have to say. Thank you. Thanks for your
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Mr. DeHart.
Yep, thank you, Mr. President. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate all the input I heard tonight. For many years, I have exercised most of those things to the best of my ability. I'm not a perfect guy, but I had children in the school system, and I treat every one of y'all children as one of mine. I'm very passionate about what I do, and I try and research and make the right decision based upon the information I have in front of me. I'm looking for a lot more than what was asked tonight from all of you. And it's things that I believe that benefit children and parents. And without taking a long speech about that, I have no hidden agenda, but I can tell you right now that to me, any one of us don't have the right heart to do what's right for our children don't belong here, whether I get reelected or not. I have served to the best of my ability, and I will continue to do that. So I'm willing to listen, and that's the way I learned the most, by listening, because none of us will think of everything that needs to be done. But I do have quite a few goals for the next person we select as superintendent. to bring back some of the things that I think have been lost in the process. And it's not about the almighty dollar, it's about different things, but to do things the right way. So I'm committed to making sure that not my ego or self-esteem is put on the side of your children. Your children will come first with me. And I know in the years past, maybe some parents disagree with me on certain issues, but I had reasons and I held accountable for what the decisions I made, and I plan on to continue doing that. So again, thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. DeHart. Dr. Trown?
Thank you, Mr. Harding. And I agree with all of you that say that the children come first. That's an absolute, an absolute. I always worked as a teacher with the philosophy that if I err, I will err on the behalf of a child. That way, I know that I made the right decision, not for the behalf of a parent or a teacher or administrator, but on behalf of the child. I became an educator late in life. I was in my mid-40s when I took my first class in 6th grade at Village East. I was a parent at home with 4 kids during the strike. I wore those shoes for quite some time as being a parent with children who had difficulties in the school. I had one expelled at one point, one of my sons. I went through the process. So I wore those shoes. I became an educator, and I moved through the ranks to become a principal, and was in college for over 20 years because I felt it was very important that if I was going to teach the children, and if they had to learn what I was teaching, well, by George, I needed to be learning something too. I was in class every year that I taught. I took classes, whether I was working on a degree or not, because I needed to keep up with education and what was going on with the kids. They are first. Communication, absolutely. I am open to listen to anyone at any time that, unless the good Lord or some health issue stops me. My door is open. I've invited people over for coffee at my home, and we have done that several times. I've met people at different places if they work. I've driven to town. If someone couldn't come down the bayou to my place, I've driven to town to meet with them, wherever it's necessary. I want to hear from anyone, whether you're in my district or not, as long as they have children in Terrebonne Parish schools. We need to be open, yes. We need to have open communication. Parents need to be aware of everything we do. That is a number one item that I am looking for. We need to be here for the parents, for all the stakeholders. And all of these things we said tonight are very well put. I've been keeping notes. My only regret for tonight is, for whatever reason, we don't have a full house. I was so hoping we would have a lot more speakers here tonight than we did. And I know that's COVID, that's affecting that, and all the different things. But we will move forward. The process is a long one, but we move forward one step at a time in this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Trown. Mr. Lagarde?
Yes, I want to thank some of y'all for coming out and expressing y'all interest. I'm confused with some of y'all about the Constitution. I thought I knew the Constitution, but I'm kind of confused, and I think some of y'all are confused. But I have a conversation with each and any one of y'all about the Constitution. But I think the next superintendent gonna have to be somebody who gonna be strong to represent our students, and some of the stuff we're gonna agree with, and some of the stuff we're not gonna agree with. But he gonna have the authority, gonna have to make those decisions to run our school for the benefit of our kid, not my kid, all our kids, not a few kids, the whole 18,000 kids that we have in this parish that superintendent gonna have to look out for. And I'm sure there's gonna be things I don't agree with that he gonna do. So when you think about kids and think about something, please, the safety of all the kids, not just what your personal feelings about all the kids, because everybody got an opinion. Do we agree with it? No. But can we get along? I hope so. So I appreciate y'all coming out. Some of y'all have opened my eyes that I didn't know before. I've seen some of y'all I haven't seen before. So anytime, I like y'all openness, but just be open with us and honest with us and respect our ability to pick a superintendent to represent your kids and our kids. And if it's not someone you like, hey, that's how it goes. But if you don't get 100 things out of 100, or if you don't get 50 things out of 100, you know, I'm sorry, but we're going to get the best person for this school district. I probably won't agree with everything they offer, but we're going to make the best decision that we can to represent our kids. And the main thing, the safety of our kids and the education of our kids come first. So I appreciate y'all from coming out. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Legard, Ms. Solé, say Solé.
I'd like to reiterate the appreciation that we feel for everybody coming out tonight. After I graduated from LSU in 1982, I moved to Terrebonne Parish for my first teaching position, and I knew no one. So Terrebonne Parish gave me the opportunity as an educator for 35 years. My heart and soul is with this school district because that's why I ended up in this parish. And I am committed to finding the person that I think will be the best superintendent for this district to move us forward into the future.
Thank you, Ms. Solé. I guess you told us your age also, too, in that process.
26.
Mr. Vizan, Dan Vizan, please.
Yes, sir. Again, not to be repetitive, but again, thank everyone for coming out, expressing their concerns, their input. It's very important to the board because we do have to ultimately make that decision, but we do need you guys' help on that. We do have a very difficult decision to make. I agree with most of the comments that were made tonight. You know, it's going to be a difficult job, but we are going to work hard. I have passion for this school district as well, as a teacher, administrator, and now a board member. So we realize the big job we have to do, and just keep in mind it is for the kids and our teachers and the faculty and staff. But kids are number one, and we are hoping to pick the number one person as superintendent. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, fellow board. Mr. DeHart, do you have?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had anybody. Everybody good? Okay. Again, I would like to thank the public for coming out and voicing their opinions and views on what they feel some of the most important things with the superintendent. Also, I would like to thank this board, which I know that is going to do their best to make sure that we select the most qualified person for the job. Some of my criteria, I'm going to be short because, I mean, everybody pretty much said what I had to say, is that, bless you, I believe that if you put kids first, that's one of the most important things that you can get out of superintendent. Whether you agree or disagree with the decision of superintendent, but if you put kids first, then you can't go wrong, in my opinion. So I'm not going to be redundant on what everybody else stated, but also Ms. Champagne made a comment that she's been trying to get in contact with me. I have several phone numbers, and you know, I want to make sure now that I let her know and the public know that I return all phone calls. My phone number is 985-688-0052. And if I don't answer it, leave a voice message. But if you just go call me and just hang up, I'm not going to call you back. I'm telling you that now. Because I'll be calling people back all day. So call, leave a message, or text. Okay, any other comments? I entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Mr. DeHart, second by Mr. Ford. Anyone else like to discuss that, Mr. DeHart, Mr. Ford? Hearing none, so ordered.